My name is Cynthia Behrens, and this is a presentation of my capstone project. I'm a senior at ATU, majoring in criminal justice. I hope to graduate next week, and this was my capstone project, video gaming, a form of socialization. For my project, I chose Arkansas Support Network Centers for Enrichment. This group was formed in 1988, and it was started as a need by a group of parents that came together. They had children with varying disabilities, and they came together to form a support network to provide support and resources, community resources for each other. As a result, several programs now exist offering various services to the individuals and families dealing with disabilities. One such program is the Center for Enrichment. This program is meant to provide activities as a means of socialization between the peers. Otherwise, many of these individuals would be isolated at home. The Center of Enrichment also provides a respite for families and caregivers that need to work or take care of other family business. And this program also promotes community involvement among their clients as much as the clients can participate in the community. Community involvement is very important aspect to this group. So, what was the purpose of the project? The purpose of the project was to examine the degree of social interaction and video gaming, specifically with the Xbox Connect 360. Why this system? This system offers the wireless capabilities and interactive voice software that also can provide a source for music, karaoke, and it allows the individuals to physically or vocally perform the video games without the use of traditional handheld controllers. As a result, the individuals experience physical exercise, which increases coordination and also provides fun. The wireless aspect of the game, it allows individuals that lack the capability or the dexterity of to use the standard handheld controller because of, like I stated, physical disability. Research indicates that video games are being used to help patients dealing with rehabilitation and various other disabilities by being personalized and adaptive and fun. Video games help people recover from physical conditions such as strokes, spinal cord injuries, and musculoskeletal disorders, to name a few. Research also indicates that video games are helpful in the treatment of mental disabilities. More on the purpose of the project. Video games lead toward legitimate participation in social relations beyond the game context itself. Let's talk a little bit about that. That would mean that not just the relationships that are formed while playing the game will extend to times in situations where they're not playing the game. It's the skills, some of the skills and results that comes from this socialization. And video games also bring a sense of self-identity and self-efficiency. These individuals, a lot of times, everything is so structured around them, and they find themselves in need of support to do almost all their daily functions. When that happens, you can lose a sense of your self-identity or your self-efficiency. What good am I? I just have to depend on everybody else to do everything for me. And playing video games gives them a sense of self-identity. It's their game. It's, they're doing it. And also, the same goes with the concept of self-efficiency. Video games provide support and socialization needed for a full recovery. So this goes back to the research that's being done with, say, for example, stroke victims. They're finding that they are able to fully recover some of the aspects of living that they might have lost during the stroke period by playing the video games. And so, based on the above reasons, further research is needed to establish basis for the implementation of the video system is worth researching and doing for the Center for Enrichment. The purpose of the project, we need to consider the following factors before making the final decision. We need to consider the cost of the Xbox Connect 360, which is approximately $360. We need to consider the cost of games, which are approximately $30 and up. The system runs, you can order software updates, and you can also download movies and games for an extra fee, and any other costs that to be determined through the process of the study that we don't know yet. The problem identified. Okay, the problem is there a relationship between the Xbox Connect 360 and improved social reaction? And if there is, if a correlation exists, to what degree does it exist? Okay. Research methods and procedures. This is the way that I went about the study to determine whether or not the Xbox 360 Connect was a feasible addition to the Center for Enrichment. Okay. In order to determine whether or not the Xbox 360 Connect is something the organization should invest in, a participation study will be conducted. The study will be conducted at the Arkansas Support Network Center for Enrichment. The study will be conducted on randomly selected days for time intervals of 2 hours of game playing observation. Okay. What I did was I punched in random digit calculators for the days of 1 through 5, and that was the way that I determined which days that I would be there. And the participant will play the game in which both physical and social interaction will be observed. Okay? Let's define physical interactions. positive interactions. You get physical interactions involve positive and negative interactions. Let's talk about positive interactions for the study's purpose. And these would include the frequency and intensity also of the interactions. Okay, positive physical interactions are going to be, for the purpose of the study, defined as cheering, smiles, laughing, and language. The study will record the frequency and intensity of the following movements. And these are going to be what we are going to, for the purpose of the study, to be considered to be negative movements. That's going to be groans, frowns, bad language, throwing the controller, and etc. Things that can be identified as negative movements. And the ratings for the intensity will be on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the least intense and 10 being the most intense. Okay. What was our analysis and finding? For the purpose of determining whether the Xbox 360 Connect has an effect on socialization among people with disabilities, the following observations were recorded. The study involved a total of 24 individuals playing the game on 2 different days of the week, Monday through Friday. The days were randomly selected by computer generation, as I explained earlier. The game was played by 2 players at a time for a period of 30-minute intervals. The study was conducted on randomly generated days, Monday through Friday, and it was conducted over a 6-week period of time. And during the observations, both physical and social interactions were broken down into positive and negative movements. A total of 171 positive movements were observed during the study's duration. The following positive movements were observed. We had 46 cheers, 74 smiles, 39 incidences of laughter, and 12 incidences of jumping. Positive findings continued. This is a graph that breaks down the positive movements. I thought the graphs were particularly interesting and did a very nice job of showing how the data played out. You have 43% of all the positive movements were smiles, and 27% was cheers, and you had 23% laughing, and 7% was physically jumping. So, and this would probably be a little more, but some of the individuals are not able to physically jump, but they showed excitement as well. This is a graph of the positive movement's intensity. And you can tell that the smiles and the laughter are the biggest proportion on the graph, then followed by cheers and jumping. Okay, now let's talk about the negative movements that were observed during the study. Okay, the negative movements were defined as throwing the controller, bad language, groans, and frowns. Again, the quantity and intensity of the movements while playing the game was what was included in the data. Altogether, a total of 55 negative movements were recorded as follows. Had 6 incidences of throwing the controller, didn't have any incidences of bad language. We had 26 groans and 23 frowns. Part of the what I observed with the negative movements weren't really what I would consider necessarily negative movements. Some of them were observed because they were so excited and involved in playing the game, they didn't want to stop. So I'm not sure if that really fits into, I think that's more of a positive, but for the purpose of the study is defined as negative movements. The intensity levels of the negative movements were reported as follows. Throwing the controller was a 1.4, which is a very low level, intensity level. Bad language was 0, and groans were 3.6 intensity level on a basis of 1 to 10, and frowns were 2.8. So all of these, the frowns and the negative movements, the intensity of negative movements was on the very low end of the scale.